screaming racist stuff to the homeless. You, Mayor, have been asked for 2 years. Hales was asked for 4 years, and Tim Adams was asked for 4 years to put trash cans in those camps. You do what Trump does. You create a situation of no trash, so people have no place to put it, so it goes on the ground, and people get arrested, and they lose all their stuff, including their identifications, and they die. That's what this says. You murdered them by taking their stuff, and now you did such a good job on the west side. Let's go to the east side. You're gonna spend $1.8 million on this crap, wiping out the sidewalks. How in God's name do you really wrong? Every year we tell you 50, 60, 80, 100 people die. And those are all figures.
Your time
and
is
you
up.
can go
Your time is up. Your time is up. You're out of order. Mr. Walsh, you're out of order. You are out of order. I'm warning you, or you will be excused. You're running into other people's time.
Go to hell! I'm gonna get close to you.
I'll continue where Joe left off. You got a letter a couple of months back. Do you remember, from the Human Rights Commission? You were cited on international, local, and state violations on human rights for the way you treat the houses. Did you even read it, Ted?
This is out of order. You are not speaking on subject. I'm ruling you out of order.
I am speaking of.
Next. Cut off the microphone. You are not speaking to the subject. Next individual. Next individual. Go ahead. You are not speaking to the subject. You heard the rules right up front. As the presiding officer, I'm ruling you out of order. Yes. Please go ahead.
That is big.
Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, Mayor and council members. Bet you wish you were back on Everest, eh? My name is Courtney Reinstrom, and my daughters attend Escuela Viva. In July, we got a call from Escuela Viva. While digging in the dirt at school, Eliza, our preschooler, had cut herself on a discarded Gillette razor. I knew communicable diseases were a risk, so I immediately called our pediatrician's office to find out the protocol for this situation. Her doctor asked us to bring her in where they did a blood draw. Eliza was 3 and essentially required what we adults would refer to as an STD test. Thankfully, she was fine, but this never should have happened. The sheer amount of garbage, drug paraphernalia, and human waste on our streets, as well as in and around our school, is unacceptable. Escuela Viva's amazing teachers sweep the yard every day before the kids go outside, but as we learned, it's impossible to find everything. I don't want any more parents getting a call like we did. Children do not have agency. They are completely reliant on adults to provide a safe environment. For this reason, children's needs must come first. I'm not just saying this as a parent. I've long believed that children, as our most vulnerable members of society, must come first. My family lives just half a mile from Escuela Viva. I also work in the neighborhood. We walk our 1- and 4-year-old daughters to and from school every day. I've steered our stroller around needles, garbage, and sometimes people who clearly need help, though I'm in no position to provide it while I'm also caring for my young children. We talk about what it means to be houseless and how life can be hard, that for some people, difficult circumstances and a lack of safety net mean the difference between sleeping under a roof and sleeping on the street. I'm not angry with our houseless community members. I want to help. I recognize that my life has been far more privileged than many, but I'm exhausted. I have compassion fatigue. I'm grateful to Angie, Escuela Viva, and the Central East Side Industrial Council for its compassion for the people who live and work in the Central East Side. I want our houseless community members to be treated with the respect and compassion they deserve. I want them to be able to get the housing and services they need, which is a bigger issue than I can even begin to address today. But I need our children to be safe in our neighborhood, and for that we need your help. I urge you to approve our Enhanced Services District. Thank you.
Thank you. Next thing, please, Carla.
Next three are Henry Taskew or Taskin, Owen Ron Kelly, and Wade Lane. Looks like I got to that four.
Are you on the list?
Sign up.
And go sign up and we'll put you at the end of the list. Oh, she
Right
has
now,
some.
looking for Emery, Owen, and Wade.
Good morning. And I serve as staff.
Two solutions. How you doing, man?
All right, how you doing?
Hey, I woke up. It's a good day, you know?
Yeah.
Keeps my streak alive.
Cool. Hey, what was that out of order crap?
Yeah, exactly. Did you get it on film?
Yeah,
Could you tag me?
yeah,
Did you get me? That is bullshit.
yeah, I got that. I got you too.
It is bullshit. I didn't do anything out of line.
No,
Not a fucking
they were
thing.
talking about homelessness, and then
Yeah.
you go up and talk about homelessness,
Yeah,
and you're out of line.
yeah.
Human Rights Commission, and he goes around
Yeah.
because he's a fucking idiot.
You know who made that letter happen?
Right.
I don't know about that.
I will get a copy of the bitch and I will sit there and read it to him.
For what?
Because I'm sure he hasn't read it. That was my question. Did you read it, Ted? You're out of line!
Yeah.
This is fish. Make believe this is fish. He's got this thing around him, boing, 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 boing. Nothing gets through.
Thanks for your support, Joanne.
Was that sarcastic?
You think?
I didn't know.
Yeah, I sure hope you know who shows up.
Who?
You know who. Jeff?
Jeff? Oh, he said he was.
Okay, cool. I gotta speak in there. I gotta speak on the homeless situation.
But you don't.
Please bring up people who don't fall under the drug addict, alcoholic, fucking people who fall into drugs.
All right,
That's what I really wanted to say.
right.
That homeless people don't want anyone to prosper. And that's not true. They just need to have their basic human needs met. Bathrooms, laundry, and many of these places have laundry. Salvation Army, their disabled bathroom was closed for years. You know, there's all the MRSA, bed bugs and lice in there, everybody's crammed in. The religious organizations have discovered this funding stream. If we find a little piece of land and build a little shelter, which doesn't have to be regulated because federal policy says it doesn't, and state policy say they don't have to be regulated, so they don't have to meet any human rights criteria or civil rights criteria. Then we get this big funding stream. We get $3 million from Columbia. We get all sorts of corporate dollars to come into our church. And we can write out these anti-transgender, anti-LGBTQ, and anti-abortion, misogynist tracts all around, and treat people like caca. And that's why they don't want to go into the shelters, because there's nothing there to serve them anyway.
Thank you.
So Mayor, can I just make a comment? We're all going to be together for a long time today, and can I just tell you from the perspective of people sitting up here, there are two things we're interested in hearing. One is, do you support the substitute ordinance or not? And if, whether you do or you don't, are there things you'd like to see changed? That's what this hearing is about. We can go off on and talk about things at a very high level. We can talk about peripheral issues, but we're not really honoring this hearing unless we focus on the issue at hand. I think it's unfair to constantly put the mayor in the position of having to be the cop who monitors how people testify. We're all knowledgeable about the issues that brought people here today. We've been reading emails, we understand the issues. Do you support it or not? And do you have suggestions for improvements or not? That would be enormously helpful because we're actually having a markup today. And it's not directed to you, Maggie. I'm just saying to those who follow, because you're finished, is that would be enormously helpful as you testify. So with that is all.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, all three. Commissioner Hardesty and Commissioner Daly.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say that, you know, when you have been an activist for as long as some people have been an activist, people forget to see when they win. And so I want to acknowledge that we're actually at a space where we are so much better than what the first vision was that got us into this room. The fact that people were willing to take a few extra weeks to make sure that we had checks and balances built in makes me really, really proud of who would have thought I'd be proud of an enhanced service district, right? But I am. And so I want to ask the activists in the audience to actually listen to where we are today as compared to where we started from. Because we are head and shoulders away from where we started. And I am committed, just like I know my colleagues are committed, to following this process to make sure that this really does become a model that we as a city can be proud of. So please keep that in mind while you're providing public testimony today. I think that might help you realize that you've actually won. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hardesty. Commissioner Daly.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioner Hardesty and Commissioner Fish for those comments. I would just like to add that I know that this room is not the most welcoming or hospitable room. It is intimidating to be in here and to come forward and give testimony. And when you've waited this long to say your piece, you don't want to give up on that. But I just want to kind of reiterate what Commissioner Hardesty said. 3 of our offices have been very actively involved in helping facilitate the conversations between businesses and community advocates. And I believe all of our offices, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I believe this will pass. I believe the businesses, the advocates, and the council are very supportive of this plan. And as Commissioner Fish said, what we need to hear today is, do you support this plan or not? And either way, do you have anything to add? Either a criticism of something that's in it or something that's not in it. We have a packed agenda. I think we're 3 items in. We really need to get to the vote. Thank you.
Very good. Next 3, please, Carla.
Next 3 are Lightning, Sandra, or Amolo, I believe it is, and Ibrahim Mubarak. And they'll be followed by Jeff Lidicote, Sandra Comstock, and Dan.
Good morning.
My name is Lightning. I represent Lightning Superhumanity. Although I agree with the Industrial East side that they have a lot of heart on this issue, here's my problem. I'm going to go against it. Somebody came up here and said, I'm really impressed that the people of the Industrial East side would actually tax themselves. Now that's what my position is. This is a tax. I want a public vote. I want everyone to have a right to vote on this. This has been challenged in San Diego, as you know, and I'm going to challenge this. I'm the one that went against the lawyer and said you can't be funding a DA out of this. It's a conflict of interest. I stood up against the DAs, and I don't see that in this agreement here. I don't see any money going to a DA or their office, and let me tell you, if it is, I'm going to stand right in front of the DA's office and I'm going to say, guess what? You show me that private agreement you have, with the BID. You show me that agreement on the ESD. Show me their agreement. And my point is on this is that this has been challenged in other states. You're going to lose. And who am I going to blame now if there's really problems in certain areas? I go to the city and I look at you elected officials, hold you accountable and say, get out of your chairs, you're not doing the job. So what you're going to do is say, you contact BID now, it's their problem and they'll handle it. Too much power within the landlords, too much power to the elites, too much power to these people on the east side. It's not going to